So here's the box. We'll take a quick look inside. I'm not going to spend a lot of time doing the unbox. Oh, okay, yeah. Let me unwrap all this for you. What's going on, everybody? How's everybody doing out there? Well, as I travel around and I see train depots and museums, you always see the railroad wheel benches. They're freaking awesome, and I would love to have one. But how do you acquire a train wheel? How do you get it back to your house? They weigh a ton. Where would you put it? So I really want one, so I'm going to attempt to build one. And I hope you guys like the build. And it turned out a little bit because I'm actually sitting on it right now. All right, hope you guys enjoy it. Let's take a look. All right, so basically in the box you had some pre-assembled panels, the back, the seat, and the two sides. Instruction booklet and some hubcaps and a bag of bolts. I'm going to loosely assemble this to see what I'm working with. Well, there it is, loosely put together, just to see what it's going to look like, how I may have to manipulate it. So let's see if we can turn this into something that looks like a train wheel. What I've decided to do is just reinvent the wheel. Basically, I got this nice sheet of plywood, scrap piece. I'm going to cut out 3 or 4 of these and actually going to sandwich them together. Because if not, I mean, I'd have to cut out all these little spokes, and you'd see all the where I cut everything, and the more I started looking at it, it's going to be a little bit more involved. So I'm just going to cut and layer, glue and screw. Let's see where this goes. Got all my pieces cut out. Now we'll get them all glued and pressed together and see how it turns out. See if it's a waste of my time or if it's going to look halfway decent. And there's all the circle pieces glued and put together. They need a little finessing. They need sanded and a little more rounded off. So we'll work on that. So I did a little bit of sanding and got the wheel flanges cut. They're not perfectly browned, but they starting to take shape and look good. So now let's figure out a base. Now I could put them back on the original feet that they came with, since I cut them that way. But I want to try something different. So I went ahead and cut 3 pieces, and I'll show you my thinking. So we'll have a base, and kind of like the webbing, and then the rail. So we got a section of rail. So I'll screw and glue all these. I don't know if this will be weak point in the bench. Maybe once it's screwed and glued. We'll see. If not, I'll just go back to the regular base. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is I got this 1¼ inch chamfer bit. And I'm going to do the inside of this edge. Maybe give it a taper down. That way it's not such a squared off looking wheel. Hope I don't ruin it. Yeah, they gave it a nice taper. It's not such a sharp edge. Now it kind of angles in. But boy, one thing about a router, it will find every flaw you have and multiply it 10 times. But it's just a nice fun project, so I'll just keep on going. I think I'm going to router this back edge, round it a little bit. Gives it more of that rounded edge that the wheel flange has. There we go. I got rid of that sharp edge right there because that's the side it's going to be facing the bench. So overall, I'm kind of happy with the routering. Like I said, it definitely points out every flaw that you have. Well, there's the head of the rail put on the webbing. Routed it down a little bit. Best I can do with the tools I got. But I have glued and screwed it. So we'll keep on going. And there you go. One piece of railroad track for my bench. I might put some cove base down in here. Maybe give a little more angled shape at the bottom there. But overall, I think that'll work out just fine. It's going to look good once it's colored up. Well, there you go. 2 sticks of rail. That'll be for my bench. I added the cove base. It'll give it a little bit more curve to the webbing down there. And maybe add a little bit of strength from that rocking motion. And if it doesn't work, then I can always go back to the original pieces. I'm actually going to throw some wood stain on these and see what they look like. Ooh, hot dog, look at that. This turned out pretty nice. I'm liking this. Yeah, it was hard to see it when it's just old pine, but when I put the stain on it, these turned out pretty well. Maybe I'll throw a clear coat on them when they're all dried up. So what I ended up doing to make the axle and the hub part, I bought some 4 to 3 inch reducers with some sleeves and some end caps. I'll get some 3-inch scrap pieces of pipe, and I just got to figure out how to attach them to the wheel. So I need to attach this to that, kind of like that. So let's see what I did. Alright, so what I did was I took a piece of cardboard and cut out the 4-inch circle, made a template basically, and then cut out some wooden circles, and I'll be able to attach that piece right to there like that. So that will allow me to attach it to the wheel. So what I ended up doing was taking an angle grinder with a sanding disc on it, and I ground off all the raised lettering, especially the end caps. They had all the raised lettering, manufacturing stuff. Plus I roughed them up, made them look really worn out. Paint will stick better anyway. Went ahead and attached the wood piece to the bottom so now I can just screw that right to the wheel. I did make a mistake. I was trying to countersink the screw and I drilled right through it. But that's alright, it'll be on the bottom. You know how the end caps of the railroad axles got the 3 bolts? Well, I didn't measure any of these. I just randomly drilled a triangle. And I got some small little bolts I'll put in the ends here. And it really looked like the end of an axle. So I went ahead and cut 4 sections of PVC pipe so I can put these together. Plus I also want it to look like the original. Here's a photo, take a look. Let me slide these together. I also roughed them up just like the other pieces. That way any of the gap would be seen. Plus it'll hold paint better. Stick these together and see what they look like. Well, there you go. I think it looks pretty close to how long they really are in real life. And I'm going to wait and paint the wood part until I figure out if the holes line up just right on the bench. I kind of just pre-drilled a little one, but I got to see if they fit. So I won't paint that yet. I can go ahead and paint this. I'm just going to do everything black like the museum's got them. I'm not going to try and rust them up or nothing like that. I'll get it painted and see what it looks like. Ooh, they turned out nice. Look at that. They turned out real nice. Hot dog. Alright, there we go. I got the wheels all painted up. Now I just need to mount them to the piece of rail I built and put the axle on. And we'll stick it on the bench, see what it looks like. There it is. One complete train wheel on a rail ready to be mounted on the bench. That turned out pretty good. Let's get it on the bench and see what it looks like. And there's the finished product. I think it turned out fantastic. Looks great. It'll look good in my train room. Look good sitting on the park walkway, back deck. That is fantastic. I am very happy with how that turned out. Well, I think this is as good a place as any to stick it temporarily. I like it. And it turned out a little better than I thought it would. And it looks real good sitting in this spot for now. Alright. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Well, there you go. I think I'll put it here in this spot for temporarily until I rearrange things and put it in a better spot. But eventually this will be a bigger training room for me, HO scale. But I hope you guys enjoyed the build. I had a fantastic time doing it. And I've always wanted one of these. But of course I can't have the real thing. And it's a lot lighter. It'll go nice in the house or a building. But it'll also look good sitting out by the fire pit. Who knows? But until next time, hope you guys enjoyed it. Like, share, subscribe. Don't cost nothing. Hit that button. Pappy out.